The first one is accepting the recorded plat that Rich Costin has regarding the sanctuary, the new addition of sanctuary, improving the lots, or the streets. Right, Rich? Rich, you want to come on up if there's any questions pertaining to
Was
what
there
he needs.
a map?
There is.
Yeah.
It's also up on the screen. You just put it up.
Go ahead.
Look up.
Go ahead, Rich. Point out what you have there.
Yes, my name is Rich Costin. I work for McKinley Development, address 1201 South Main Street, North Canton. We are here submitting for the final plat for Sanctuary Phase 3 lots. There's 28 lots. We paved over the weekend. The city has inspected. We're down to some punch items and utilities. So we're submitting for the final plat for the city accepted.
Any questions, anybody?
What are some of the touch items? Sorry.
Sewer, water.
Sorry, Jim.
I've been out of the office this past week. One of our inspectors in hand. Well, the sidewalks are the big item that need to be completed, and that's typically bonded. These items, there'll be a maintenance bond for 1 year for, if there's a settlement in one area, asphalt goes bad, concrete cracks, whatever. But then beyond that, there's a performance bond for any items that are not completed, such as the sidewalks. I think there's some money in there for some seating, maybe a little bit of grading, and so forth. But those are the items that have to be done on the improvements that we made.
We need to bond on the agenda a little bit.
Right, that's
Right.
later on.
And swap. Okay. Well, if you're comfortable with it, then.
Yeah, it's gone through the planning commission, it's been approved, so they went out, they can either bond the whole improvements and then build it, and then we would accept it at that point early on, or they make the improvements, and then we accept it, the street, the water, the sewer, and then bond just the items that are left, that's the point where we're at, the improvements that we made. So, I don't know if anybody's been out, you can look at it, and it looks nice.
Hey, Rich, on those 28 lots, you have any takers yet?
Yes, we do. Of the 28 lots, there's 4 letters of intent. Obviously, we cannot sell the lots until it's platted, but there is 4 letters of intent.
Nice.
In the body. So it's a good start.
That's awesome. I'm good with that. Okay. Thanks, Rich. Yes.
I have to say, Jim, that was very exciting because this is the first time in the class since we changed the zoning code all those years ago. This is excitement, new development.
Yeah, they have some St. James things too. Okay, the second 2 pieces, B and C, are pertaining to on the east side where Price Park is, there's a pine. On the east side, we're going to be replacing the culvert. It's a rectangular 7-foot by 4-foot concrete, about 400-foot long. And B and C reflect a few of the property owners where we don't have perpetual easements on that, so we need that so that we can continue maintaining it properly. So those will be on an emergency, so I move that we put those on to get them approved.
And no expense for those, correct?
Correct.
That's fine.
Okay. And it'll be an emergency.
All right. Yeah. All right, finance and property.
All right, a couple of items. We have some proposed adjustments to the rental terms for the Civic Center. 2 items out there. One is allowing the, well, Mike, I'll let you talk about it. It's probably the easiest one.
We just want to rent the gazebo with chairs and all that.
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
We had some partner rep committee meetings, board meetings, and basically we felt there was a need when someone rents a gazebo for a graduation party or a wedding, it'd be to our advantage to offer chairs to make it a well-run event. And we figured, well, versus like somebody coming in, a vendor, and picking them up, dropping them off, who's going to be there, what time. So we decided that we charge $150 for chairs, for 50 chairs for a single day. If they want that option, it's available. There'll be a shed out there and they'll take care of it. So we think it's going to be a home run as far as renting the facilities, just providing other amenities with it.
Will they put up chairs, or will
I think they're going to be responsible for putting up the chairs.
people who rent them?
Yes.
Correct.
You
We've already
Put
had,
them away.
we've already had people calling us that had events coming up saying.
Right, that's why we pushed it, because we thought about this over the winter and didn't get it here soon enough, but there's weddings that are going to happen, and looking forward to paying us $150.
I think Canton Chair does about $3 a piece, so you're right in the range. A Canton Chair does a drop off and pick up, so to have them right there, there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to outsource, so that's great.
And then they'll pay for themselves probably
Yeah.
5 or 6 rentals, which is good too.
I think it's a good service. It was another adjustment which changes the time slightly to allow for a 1 o'clock termination versus noon, so that it just makes a little more sense.
They have more kind of business-oriented lunches there.
Right.
So that's the only small adjustment other than the chair.
Other than that, all the rates stayed the same, no adjustments there. So, any questions relative to that?
I was just curious if the Civic Center booked up much for the summer.
I don't have that information on it.
All right.
All right, the second item, item B, is as we discussed before, when we have the developers doing, when they have an obligation to fulfill performance pieces like sidewalks or anything else that needs done from an infrastructure standpoint, we require that they provide collateral, and this is our acceptance of their collateral. As you can see, the 97,000 and 103,000 is something we've done many times in the past, so it's kind of a formality to accept it. Any questions relative to it? And this is if the developer were to go under for some reason or fail to perform, this would be the collateral that would be used to execute on. All right, we'll add that to the agenda then as well.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to accept a motion and a second to move into executive session. For the folks here waiting to address council, I don't anticipate more than 5 minutes, so hang tight. We need this before the special council meeting. So at this time, the executive session is to discuss a dispute that is subject to imminent court action. Is there a motion and a second to move into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. We're in executive session. We'll be back at 5. We're not bringing chairs, so we
knew that because I was in the bid.
We have not changed any ordinances out there, so we're using the drawing.
And the maintenance was phase 4, it's up here. Keep some for repairs and possibly loss. And I was there down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was on the next actually,
Just at the beginning there, this is much bigger. It's in the backyard, it's in that guy's house. I'd have to read the drawing and say there's no mistakes between wires and lines.
watch Mark's video. Martin wrote again today. Friday. It's on Friday.
It's in the street. We're not planning to bring back as far as I know. Which I think it is.
Because the city doesn't have any.
Yeah, there's 2 stub streets now.
Wasn't any timeline.
I believe whenever the whole project was built, somebody wanted any connectivity of that anyway.
Felt so easy sitting there with this. When I used to
May I have a motion and a second to come out of executive session?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Let the record reflect no action was taken. And with that being the end of that agenda, I'll entertain a motion and a second to adjourn the committee of the whole meeting.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call to order the special council meeting Monday, June 6, 2016 at 7:20 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Yes, okay. We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to table ordinance number 32-16.
So moved.
Second? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
6 yes, and to abstain to table ordinance number 32, 2016.
Thank you very much. At this time, if you wish to address council, please step forward, state your name and address. There's a 5-minute time limit. There will be no back and forth during public speaks after the meeting. If you wanted to talk with anyone from the administration or council, we will stick around to have a discussion with you, or if after public speaks is over, if the administration or council want to address some issues that come up during public speaks, we will do so at that point.
65 Hamlet, Southwest. I'd like to talk, if I can, divide my remarks tonight, and I thank you for the opportunity to split them into two parts, a discussion of the past and a discussion of the future. I applaud this council for thinking about improvements to the city's housing stock. It is a very difficult and very challenging issue. And the recent debate over the CRA expansion prompted me to look at the statute, the Ohio Revised Code, the city's ordinance, and the staggering abatement granted in Northridge Place. As you know, Ohio Revised Code 3735 permits the establishment of community reinvestment areas. It defines the process for creating CRA, defines the operating process, and sets the outermost limits of abatements. Cities may tailor their CRAs, but not contradict the statute. I was particularly struck by the fact that the Northridge abatement never came before City Council in a public session. An abatement of over $700,000 in value was granted by the stroke of Mr. Bowles' pen in 2012. This closeted process deeply concerns me. It lacks transparency and is ripe for abuse at taxpayers' expense. Had this project been commercial or industrial, public process would have been required by the Ohio Revised Code, with City Council playing a prominent public role. Northridge received its exemption under Ordinance 10709. In fact, it's virtually the same ordinance that you have in 32-16. Section 5 sets the residential rate and term for a tax exemption. Section 5 is brief, and it is precise in its language. For the rate of the abatement, Section 5 reads, for residential property, tax exemption is hereby authorized on 100% of the increase in assessed value from improvements as described in RC 3735-67. For the term, Section 5 reads, following periods of the real property tax exemption shall apply to all residential property, referencing 3 maximum periods, 10, 12, and 15 years, consistent with ORC. The appropriate term of years is contingent upon the level of investment and the historical nature of the property. Mr. Bowles correctly submitted the 12-year exemption based upon Section 5B in his notice to the county auditor. However, 10709 Section 5B also states, and you have it in 32-16, that the 12-year term is only for, and I quote, the remodeling of dwellings. The remodeling of dwellings. And that's just as 5A above it does. Northridge was not remodeled. It was new construction. And new construction is not permitted under 3709 Section 5B. Therefore, Northridge does not meet the legal requirements of Ordinance 10709 Section 5B. It does not meet. I submit that the exemption granted to Northridge is invalid. Let me repeat that. Northridge is receiving a $700,000 tax exemption to which it is not entitled by our ordinance. As new construction, it does not conform to the city's ordinance, and that ordinance is quite specific. This is not a matter of interpretation. As one who voted for 10709 and signed as mayor its predecessor, 2299, I know new residential construction was intentionally excluded from Section 5 of both. It was the city's intent, $22.99, and 10709 to assist only existing residential property, period. Mr. Revolt, time is up. I'm up.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Very good.
Randy Santana, 244 Cordelia. Reason I'm here, I attended the meeting at Dogwood last Wednesday, and this is what I observed at the meeting. A lot of screaming, yelling, and tension. I mean, this was a town hall meeting. Jeff Peters gets cussed at. You got another gentleman getting thrown out of the meeting. The police are called. I mean, it was ridiculous. This isn't everybody's first rodeo here, and you got to act like you've been here. And we're all here together. These councilmen and women, they're on our side. They're not the enemy. You treated them like they were the IRS, accusing you of tax fraud for crying out loud. My wife Sarah and her friend Susie Rankin, she's a board member. She's trying to gather information about the tax abatement. They left about 45 minutes before this meeting was even over. That's how ridiculous it was. They were the only ones allowed because of the tension. I mean, you got Mark here, graduate of Hoover, his 3 kids out of graduated. You got Jeff here, his 4 daughters are in there. Marcia's son just graduated, she's got 1. Dominic's got a few. Stephanie, you were clearly under the weather. You couldn't even talk. I called you for Japan. I mean, you guys did an awesome job, and Jeff, with your presentation, did an awesome job. As with Mayor Helen, Marcia, and everybody else, Dominic. What I'm trying to say here, we can agree to disagree. Okay, we can all agree to disagree here. I didn't really want to bring this. I've been very vocal at school board meetings, and people know that, and I do it in a respectful manner. They know I'm serious, and I don't get gaveled. I get my point across, and that's what we got to do here. There's no question all these people up here, they feel they're doing what's best for the city. On the tax abatements, I know they've been working for 2 years on this, and it makes perfect sense, the reason they want to do it, and I get that. But like I said, we can agree to disagree. I mean, our city council people are disagreeing on this. We have, I think, Mark, you said you agree with this, but it needs tweak. I thought that's what you said at the last meeting. If I did. Doug went a step further. He voted against it and said you'd be okay with 5 years. 15 years is way, way too long. That's why he's not in favor. I just got a real small opinion on this. I'm real passionate with the schools, like all you are, and we need all the money we can get. I agree with Doug 100% here. 15 years is a lot of years. 5 would make more sense. I'm just afraid maybe even 5 years would be too much. But other than that, I still want to thank everybody for the hard work and dedication to the city that's respect these people.
Thanks. Thank you.
Jennifer Clark, 706 East Maple Street. I'm here to address how unsafe it is trying to back out on East Maple Street on a daily basis. I have lived at this house for 12 years, and the traffic continues to get worse each year. It concerns me that there's an ordinance in place that does not allow a turnaround in North Canton. I guess I don't understand if I am responsible for all accidents on my property, how the city dictates what I can put in my front yard. I've seen several houses on East Maple that have a turnaround, and one house at 842 East Maple Street has not only a double driveway, but a wraparound driveway that takes up the whole front yard. I understand if I was not getting this done professionally, or if I was going to keep a bunch of cars that jump out front and make it look trashy, but this is not the case. Unfortunately, I do not have the option of extending my driveway by much to the right of my garage, as the property line will not allow it. I'm at a disadvantage by having a telephone pole at the end of my driveway and being the first driveway past Y Street, making it harder to get out. Not only would it make it easier for me to get out, but I could actually have people over without having to maneuver cars if someone else wanted to stay in my driveway. As of right now, I have friends that have me meet them on the corner to get picked up because they don't like trying to back out on the driveway. I just want you to take into consideration, if this is one of your kids, I would think you would push for safety first and not the aesthetics of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer, can you stick around for the meeting afterwards?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Serpilla. I live at 415 Summit Street Southwest. And I grew up in North Canton, and I've lived at this particular address as a homeowner since 2006. It's an amazing neighborhood with great people, and I have been a proud citizen of this community. I've been following the developments of the community reinvestment area, and I am for the tax abatement because I too believe that we must take steps to protect our housing market in North Canton and do everything we can to increase property values in this area. I understand clearly that we are seeing a decline in population in our community, and the goal of this would be to attract not only younger generations of people to invest and live here, but continue to attract new home buyers and home builders as well. This abatement gives individuals, including myself, who lives in a home that is 55 years old, the opportunity to make renovations to our homes and encourage others to build new homes around us. To me, it's a win-win for current and new homeowners, as well as the greater community at large, to keep North Canton great. And I know that there are homes much older than mine that would benefit greatly and have benefited from this incentive. I understand the concern of some community members believing that we as a community would lose money on this deal. But I have read where it has been proven to work in building up other communities throughout our state, as well as across communities across the country. What I really hope is that North Canton can be a catalyst for other Stark County communities with regards to a tax abatement, so we can be attractive to future residents, hoping not only for the city of North Canton to grow and be a premier community, but also the Stark County area as a whole. Thank you to the mayor and city council for your great work that you do. Let's continue to do good work, not for any of our own selfish ambitions or gains, but for the greater good of our community as a whole. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Sharon.
Ronald Jesky, 1005 Woodland Avenue, Southwest, North Canton. It is apparent to me that this council has no interest in the majority of the American voter or the interests of North Canton citizens. The CRA program is going to only enhance the wealthy in the city. The only concern that this council has is for special interest. Does a wealthy realtor or builder run this council, or who does? The wealthy purchasing these expensive homes will be allowed to vote on all issues such as schools, levies without paying a single cent. And how about city services? How about the sewers and the water and the garbage? Will they get this free too? Is this fair and equitable to the citizens of North Canton? The only way this situation will be settled is that CRA be abandoned or placed on the ballot for us to vote. Instead of doing your elected responsibility, you should be concerned about the noise pollution, texting, cell phones, traffic, road conditions, infrastructure, so forth. You are intent of taking care of your special interest. Ram CRA down our throats, damn the citizen. The fight for justice has just begun. We will do whatever it takes to prevent CRA from happening. An attorney is now being sought and documentation is being gathered by a group of us for other agencies to review to put a stop to your special interest. This is not going to go away.
The United States fought for freedom of speech. Your rules allow only 5 minutes to speak, and you prevent people from speaking and call the police. This is what happened in Nazi Germany. You apparently have forgotten that you are elected and represent the citizens of the city. You are preventing me from voting on a major issue. Every school tax levy will be fought against them because of your irresponsibility. A major issue with this issue is that I run into my neighbors every day, walking dogs, talking to them. Nobody knows about this. They're all flabbergasted. When did this come up? When did this happen? And they're all really upset over this. I wrote a letter to the governor. I'm trying to get a large group of people together, enough people to fill this and maybe an auditorium. I don't know if that's going to do any good with you people, because if you're interested, you're just going to do what you're going to do anyway, and you're going to ignore it. Lastly, I just want to say that I'm a very nice person. I want to be left alone. I want to live my life, but this is crap. I am not, repeat, gonna pay school taxes for wealthy people's kids to go to school. It's unfair, it's un-American, it shouldn't even been thought of. I don't have any issue with the people getting tax breaks who want to do something with their homes. I bought my house 10 years ago. When I bought it, it was 1957. It was empty for 10 years when I bought it. When you walked in, you were in 1957 land. I had to put a new source system in. It cost me $13,300. I paid for it. I had to replace the driveway and the walk. I put new floors. I put new windows. I put new garage doors. I put a new kitchen in 2 years ago for $30,000. I put glass block windows in. I've got about $50,000 in that house that I paid for out of my pocket. I didn't seek no help. I didn't go to anybody and bitch and moan that I want money, I want a rebate. This is my house. I'm responsible for it, and I did it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jamie McLeister, 710 Pierce Avenue Northwest. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of a CRA for the city of North Canton. My wife and I closed on our house a week or so before we got married in 2007. In that time, we've seen a number of homes that, although I don't believe took advantage of the existing CRA, certainly could have benefited. We've seen 2 to 3 beautiful new homes built around the corner from us on existing lots on 9th Street Northwest, including one that was just finished and has a lawn going in now. And over on Portage, we've seen several homes rehabbed and brought back to life, most notably one that was essentially exposed to the elements with missing windows that now looks amazing. I recall sending an email to all of you, as well as Mr. Bowles, talking about seeing a young couple being photographed holding a sold sign in front of the house. This is where the CRA is beneficial and great for the community, taking the blight away and turning it into a jewel for a young family. However, my excitement and support for a CRA stops when you go beyond rehabbing old homes and building on existing one-off lots within neighborhoods. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say that I think a 15-year length is too generous. I make no secret of the fact that my wife and I have been looking to buy a larger home or build within the next several years. And in an effort of full disclosure, I have talked about several properties off and on with Mr. Fonte, someone who has known my parents for many years. He may tell you that we even discussed lots at Summit Place, albeit before the CRA discussion. Summit offers a beautiful historic neighborhood and homes that would be within our price range, but ultimately the lots are a bit small for our taste. However, with what you're proposing with this CRA, at least with what I'm assuming you're proposing, because you're voting, well apparently not voting tonight, so you're talking about something that is ever-changing and not in final form yet, we'd be able to reap major rewards at the expense of our school system if we had chosen to build the Summit Place. We could close on a lot tomorrow, choose a builder, start construction, and if all goes well, move in early next year, and not pay taxes on the home itself for 15 years. That means the day our now 3-year-old son Jack graduates, we could sell the home good and move out of town, all while not having paid a dime in taxes on the home itself during his entire K-12 career. The schools lose out. 15 years is simply too long, especially in a great community like North Canton where homes sell quickly, and given that we're in a city that people are already attracted to. I also think that any CRA incentive for commercial, multi-unit residential, and assisted living property is unwarranted and detrimental to the schools. I've heard from friends within North Canton City Schools that they are expecting reductions in employees over the next several years. Yes, many of those losses will be due to attrition, but the jobs won't be backfilled, and it's a net loss nonetheless. I think all of you either currently have or had schools in the school district. And Mr. Soretta, didn't you help with at least one school levy? Why wouldn't we be looking at ways to increase funds to the schools instead of cutting them? The argument has been made that the schools won't miss the money because they had never had it in the first place, and this will mean more money for the schools down the road. Simple math will show you that the schools will be losing from day one, and will never be able to recoup the money that was lost in the first 15 years. I'm reminded of the old saying that a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. By implementing the CRA as described at previous meetings, you're letting all the birds go and chopping down the bush, only to hope that a new one grows in its place. Before you vote on the CRA, you must ask yourselves, why am I giving businesses and developers tax breaks on buildings that are already under construction at the cost of the children in the schools? Is it really necessary, or is it simply a game of political back-scratching? And lastly, who's more important, the developers or the children? I ask you to implement a CRA, but please to exclude large housing developments, multi-unit residential, assisted living and commercial property, and to limit the CRA to a much shorter time period, perhaps 5 years. I spoke at lunch last night with Doug Foltz. Thank you. I wanted to thank you publicly for standing firm in this and standing up for the kids. And I will ask all of you to maybe ask the tough questions and maybe consider voting with Mr. Foltz.
Thank you.
Kathy Schneider, 1008 Woodland Avenue, Southwest. I am against the CRA completely. One question I want to ask you is, has CTHOP contributed to any of your campaigns in any way, shape, or form? And if that answer is yes, then you have no business voting on this CRA.
Thank you.
Larry Tripp, 1127 East Maple. First, I'd like to thank Mrs. Warren for initiating the work 2 and 3 neighborhood local government informational meeting. By the way, I hope you're feeling better. Secondly and foremost, I would like to thank those citizens from Ward 2 and 3 who were hoping to get an insight on Dogwood Pool and the community reinvestment area program attending. Unfortunately, that information is not forthcoming. I would just like to comment on a couple bullet points as I observed this meeting. 1, within the first 5 minutes of the meeting, it was obvious Councilman Peters had no knowledge on how to conduct a meeting. 2, within 5 to 10 minutes, it was obvious this session was now going to be a dog and pony show for the mayor, and yes, the mayor completely upstaged Ward 2 councilman. 3, shortly after the mayor completely took over this meeting, it was again obvious he nor Councilman Peters were going to focus on the Dogwood Pool nor the CRA program. 4, when finally pushed for answers on the 2 highlighted topics, Dogwood Pool and CRA, it was obvious neither were comfortable talking about these topics. No charts, graphs, or accountability on expenses being poured into Dogwood Pool. Nothing about revenue being generated by this financial hub, as so proudly hailed by Councilman Peters. Lastly, no estimate of when the pool would open. Same scenario for the CRA program. No charts or graphs highlighting benefits to be derived by the citizen, average homeowner of North Canton. 5, Mayor and council members present completely overtaken by last year's pool operations and condition of pool and pool accommodations, both staggered when trying to be done. 6, then the million-dollar question directed to elected city officials. Have any of you being elected officials, accepted any monies from the developers? 2 answered yes. Tonight I say you're voting on a tainted ordinance. In completing my allotted time, I want to speak on an incident troubling to Mr. Rod Covey and myself. Be mindful of the fact that I am 76 years old, Mr. Covey 87 years old. Upon leaving the facilities, we were chatting with Mr. Osborne and a couple other gentlemen. Mrs. Keesman walked by. I asked her a question on CRA, was given an answer, and she left to pick up her daughter. Mr. Covey and I continued walking and stopped to share pleasantries with Mr. Merlin Olson, Stark County political reporter, whom I had never met. Mrs. Warren walks by. I yell at her to take care of herself and go home and rest. Mr. Olson departs. Mr. Covey and I continue talking, laughing, joking about the meeting, number of people in attendance, lack of control by Mr. Peters, Major, just etc. Law director passes by. And here's law director, not by name, but by title. After continuing, he walks about 20 to 30 paces, makes an about face, and confronts, challenges Mr. Covey and me. When one makes an about face after walking to his car, one can expect a confrontation. He approaches us, not to say good evening, but to confront us. Law director, he says. And I ask him if he has a problem. He says, law director again. And I ask him if he is harassing me. His answer, what are you going to do? Call the cops? I ask him again, are you harassing me? And yes, I will call the cops. At that time, he turned away, and I walked to my car to get my phone. I did express to him I have no respect for him as law director, nor his 21 years in the military. So, Mr. Mayor, Council President, Council members, think about it. A much younger city employee backtracking to engage in a conversation with 2 senior citizens. Do I need to go further?
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council, please step forward, state your name and address.
Good evening, Linda Hoagland, 850 East Hill Street Southeast. I am a resident of Ward 3. I received a call last Thursday questioning, why weren't you at the meeting? I had no clue. What meeting? Well, I got a letter that says all Ward 2 and 3 residents are invited to the CRA and pool meeting. Never heard anything of it. Never heard anything of it again. I waited. Again, I texted me on the weekend. I wondered why you weren't there. I guess I want to know why. Why didn't I get it if it was to all Ward 3 residents?
It was.
All 7 people in my building, not one person got a letter.
We can check. No worry.
Well, I would appreciate it. Our 7 units generate $36,145 tax dollars. And a lot of that goes to North Canton, into the schools. I just can't believe who put the list together. Maybe you better look on the list for Ward 3 residents. Because if it was something really important, I wouldn't have had a say in it. And so our $40,000 of tax dollars, I don't think my money's being well spent. That's why I'm here all the time. This kind of stuff. I mean, can anybody, where do you get the Ward 3 residents? I mean, how do you do that? And I would venture to say, the CRA I'm for, but again, why are we going out? It's to bring people into the city. I got here because I wanted to live in a small town. I'm glad to pay my school taxes. Trust me, it's double from where I came from. And I guess that's my choice. And it's like people that are in business building huge things, apartments and stuff, those people aren't going to pay school taxes, nor are they going to pay for EMS. And if you have a business and you can't afford the taxes, then you have no business building a business. It just is common sense. And as a council, you have no business giving away tax dollars like that. What I see 5 years from now, you're turning North Canton from a city into a township of apartment dwellers, and the only people that are going to suffer are the people that actually own homes and pay taxes. Who's going to pay for more EMS? You're not going to get my vote again. I'm glad to pay for the service I have. It's wonderful. I'm glad to pay for schools. That's a very good asset. But let's bring the CRA back into downtown city. Maybe we ought to offer the CRA to the businesses along Main Street to bring businesses back to Main Street. Wasn't that the master plan? We wanted a nice Main Street.
They are in the CRA. They are in the CRA.
Okay, well, that's fine. Well, the original, that's what I want. And that's, you know, that's fine. But maybe we better change the incentives for, let's bring back the master plan and let's take a look at the Main Street. We don't need to put it out here where they're building multi-million things and up by strip malls and stuff. I don't want to live in a community like that. I want homes that can pay taxes. That's why I bought here. That's why I live here. And to allow that to go on is crazy. And I would appreciate somebody would at least look into why I did not receive a letter. I am a Ward 3 resident, and I pay good taxes for it. And I believe my husband read somewhere that the letter was sent out to all residents at taxpayers' expense. Well, I guess what? I didn't get my money's worth.
Who got a flyer?
Jeff.
Thanks, Linda. We'll get back to you on that one. I'll find out what happened. I didn't receive one in my house.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melanie J. Roll, 308 Courtney Street, Northwest, North Canton. I come before you again to speak about the CRA. The last month, I've spoken to many folks in the community, and then there's a consensus that, yes, the CRA would be a good thing for existing homes for folks to add on to kitchen, bathroom, one of those things. Everyone that I spoke to is for that concept. When you begin talking about new construction and the 15-year at 100%, folks are upset, and I think rightfully so. I have said this repeatedly. I am willing to pay taxes to the schools, to the city. That's what a citizen does. But to give this kind of abatement for new construction is not a good thing. Perhaps you will all think about Mr. Foltz's plan of 5 years for new construction, maybe 25%, I don't know. But the current, how you have the legislation written, is not good for the community. Certainly not good for the schools. If the schools fail, I think we're going to be in dire straits. So please think how you want to proceed with this. Folks are looking at you and how you're voting, what you're saying, so please listen. Lastly, about 2 weeks ago, I said to Ms. Warren that I thought that she should think about recusing herself from voting on this. Her children are in Plain Local. They go to school there, of course. They're in athletics.
She has little connection to North Canton schools. In fact, in her home, I'm guessing that North Canton is an opponent. I don't think that it's a good idea that she votes on something that affects North Canton schools to the magnitude that you folks are talking about. So I ask her please to recuse herself from voting on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address council, please step forward, state your name and address. Last call. Seeing none, we will move on to old business. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 37-16.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
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 7 yes to read by title only, the third reading of ordinance number 37, 2016, and the ordinance amending section 20, compensation of chapter 155, personnel regulations of part 1, administrative code and codified ordinances of the city of North Canton to update the compensation level of exempt employees in line with non-exempt employees and thereby permit the city to properly recruit, attract, and maintain highly trained and experienced leaders, managers, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Thank you. This and the companion piece 3816 are in line with what we're trying to accomplish. This basically came to light when we were looking for a finance director. We noticed that our salary requirements were a lot less than some of the locations around us, and we realized we were at a disadvantage. So this basically puts us on a level playing field. This doesn't automatically give current exempt employees raises. It just allows us to use this range to attract and hire new employees. So if there's no other questions from council, I'll entertain a motion and second to adopt. So moved. Second.
Surratt,
Yes.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Peasley,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
and Waring.
Yes.
7 yes to adopt the third reading of ordinance number 37, 2016.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 38 So moved. Second.
Folds,
Yes.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Peasley,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
and Surratt.
Yes.
7 yes to read by title only the third reading of ordinance number 38, 2016, in ordinance amending section 10, vacation regulations of chapter 155, personnel regulations of part 1, administrative code and codified ordinances of the city of North Canton to update the vacation levels of exempt employees in line with certain templates and thereby permit the city to properly recruit, attract, and maintain highly trained and experienced leaders and managers, and declare the same to be an emergency.
Yes, this was another issue we came across when hiring new employees, whether they came to us with a year of experience or 30 years. We can only offer them the 1-year vacation up front. This allows us to craft that differently if we've got an attractive candidate that has 10, 20, 30 years of experience. So just another tool in the box. So if there's any other questions, or no other questions, I'll entertain a motion and a second to adopt the third reading.
So, second.
Fontaine,
Yes.
Yes.
Peasley,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Surratt,
Yes.
and Folds.
Yes.
7 yes to adopt the third reading of ordinance number 38, 2016.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the second reading of resolution number 3-16.
So moved.
Second.
Griffith,
Yes.
Peasley,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Surratt,
Yes.
Folds,
32nd, 32.
Is this
3/16.
Conwood, yes.
and Fontaine.
Yes.
7 yes to read by title only the second reading of resolution 3, 2016, a resolution designating the dogwood tree as the city's tree.
Chairwoman Ware.
So we talked about this for a number of weeks, and the main emphasis was to remove the tagline of Dogwood City from numerous facilities, and badges, and different things, kind of based on the master plan. But instead, to take the dogwood tree and make it the city's tree based on heritage and history, and put it in a resolution like this. So if there are no other issues, I move to adopt.
Second.
Keesler.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Golds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
And Griffin.
Yes.
7 yes to adopt the second reading of the resolution is 2016.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 41-16?
So moved.
Second.
Peters.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Golds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
And Keesler.
Yes.
7 yes to read by title only the first reading of ordinance number 41, 2016, an ordinance authorizing the director of administration of the city of North Canton to advertise and receive bids according to specifications now on file in the director's office, and authorizing the mayor of the city of North Canton upon board of control approval to enter into an agreement for the collection of residential garbage, rubbish, recycled, yard waste in the city of North Canton for a 3-year period commencing July 1st, 2016, and terminating June 30th, 2019.
Thank you. Chairman Surratt.
Yes, this gives authorization to Administrator Grimes to receive bids for the new collection of residential garbage and rubbish. We talked about this last week, for the next 3-year period, so I move that we go ahead and pass this on the first reading. Second.
Waring.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Golds.
Yes.
Fontaine.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Keesler.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
7 yes to adopt the first reading of ordinance number 41, 2016.
All right, thank you. And as this is a special meeting, no other business may come before this council. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Why don't we, you want to state on the record?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Just to Melanie's comment, I have 400 homes that are in plain local schools. I have helped pass levies in Canton City schools in plain local schools. Please do not question my loyalty to the schools. I have 3 children in plain local that have done extremely well. I'm proud of where they are and what we've accomplished. I don't switch from what I believe from boundary lines. I will do what I think is best for this city and the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
Yes.
Man, you missed that town hall.
I know, that's what I'm telling you, because you'd call me and explain what I